Welcome back once again to the Boss and Roll channel. Today it's Vintage. Vintage Eternal Weekend is, at the time of me posting this video, about 24 hours away. The first of 3 events kicks off, and it would not be a Vintage prep session without playing Paradoxical Outcome. This deck is, I think it is generally accepted to be the best deck in Vintage. It's exploitable in some ways, so like the meta's a little bit hostile, but I think this is on raw power level the best deck in Vintage, and I'm not sure we'd get many arguments with that. If you're unfamiliar with the engine, the namesake card Paradoxical Outcome is a 4-mana instant. Return any number of target non-land, non-token permanents you control to their owner's hands. Draw a card for each card returned this way. Moxen and Mana Crypts and Soul Rings and Opals and Vaults all are non-land, non-token permanents you can return to your hand. So you tap 4 Moxes, you bounce them all, you draw 4 cards, and you replay them again. So you just drew 4 cards for free. And then hopefully those 4 cards included like a 5th piece of fast mana and another Paradoxical Outcome. So the next one draws 5 cards while floating an extra mana. Then the next one draws 7 cards while floating 2 extra mana. And then eventually you win. The win condition in the deck is primarily Monastery Mentor. You basically draw your whole deck until you get to Monastery Mentor. You cast it, you get a bunch of monk triggers, then you time walk, and then your opponent dies. You can also use Bolus's Citadel to sacrifice 10 monks to kill your opponent 2 times. So like Mentor plus time walk, you can easily make 20 monks. That's not hard to do. So that's the win condition of the deck. The cool thing about Paradoxical Outcome is that it can sideboard pivot into doing other things. Like Flusterstorm's very good against a 4-mana instant. Pyroblast is very good against your 4-mana instant. There's a lot of ways in the format to disrupt you, like Null Rod and Collector Oof are pretty devastating. So out of the sideboard, you have Hurkyl's Recall. There's ways to get rid of Null Rods and Sphere effects. Flusterstorm, you can fight those Pyroblasts. And most importantly, you have to be able to pivot and to do something totally different. Sprite Dragon and Blightsteel Colossus are ways to just duck the whole game that the opponent just sideboarded into. You're barely a PO deck anymore. Now you're a Tinker deck. Or now you're an aggro deck with Sprite Dragon, depending on how your draw lines up with what they're doing. And you can do any combination of those plans. Like you could have like 2 Sprite Dragons, 3 POs, and Blightsteel Colossus in your deck after board and make them respect everything. You could commit just to Sprite Dragon and cut all your POs. And like you can mix and match depending on what you think your opponent's going to do. So the deck is very strong. This current build of it, there's a few builds out there. You can check on MTG Goldfish, scroll through, see what you like. But this one, pioneered by Bryant Cook, he was farming vintage challenges for a long time. He has like a bunch of top 8s and a couple of wins. I think he won 2 weeks in a row with this exact same list. It's basically pure Jeskai with Demonic Tutor, Yogwill, and Vampiric Tutor as black cards. But the Jeskai build gets Teferi Time Raveler and Monastery Mentor compared to and Pyroblast compared to like the Esper builds that get Pyroblast or that don't get Pyroblast, or like the Rug builds that don't get Teferi or Mentor. So the shell of the deck's going to look the same no matter what your color combo is, but your win condition, your tutor package, and what your sideboard juke is are going to look different based on what color you are. So let's get into the leagues. Let's see if we can get some wins with trusty old Paradoxical Outcome. All right, we're on the play for round 1, which is a pretty good place to be. This hand is a little bit awkward. I played against this person in Legacy Eternal Weekend last week, and they were on Hogak. So I wonder if they're doing the same thing here in Vintage. So I can play Mana Vault and pass, and I can hold up Force of Will and have like a turn 2 Mentor. Maybe set up that kind of game. If they mental misstep my Mana Vault, I'm in a lot of trouble. I think I do want to keep this hand. This one is debatable. I'm willing to believe this is a bad hand. I think I lose straight up to Wasteland. I probably should have mulliganed, but let's see if this plays out how I want it to. I have to get Tundra because Mentor is my plan. Mental Misstep is restricted these days, so don't have to worry too much about that one. Still respect it. All right, so there's Bazaar. Confirmed they are a Bazaar deck. Let's see if it's Hogak. Probably is. The Hogak deck is the Delver deck of this format, like a fast clock with disruption. If you're familiar with legacy strategies. All right, so let's get in on this. Does this even make sense? I could also outcome for 1. That sounds real bad though. All right, I'm gonna just play this Mentor and hope that it's good enough. I'm gonna force pitching PO if they do anything I care about. Maybe I pitch Teferi. Now, PO is farther away from being a useful card than Teferi is, and I'm gonna Mystical Tutor. I guess I don't need to do it in my upkeep because I can't cast the spell anyway. All right. So my plan is to get tempo-y here with monks, and I just need to buy a little bit of time to go off. So maybe I should be pitching Teferi then. If my plan is to go off at some point, then I need PO to do that. All right, here come the Blood Gas, and they can cast Hogak. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Casting Hogak will cost them their whole graveyard. At least for now. I mean, they have Bazaar Baghdad, so that is. Stitcher Supplier. I don't think I'm in a place where I can force that. I have to save it for this Hogak. Yeah, look how fast they've put on the board. This is turn 2, by the way, and they have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 18 power coming my way, and I'm very lucky that they didn't have a Vengevine. So maybe I do pitch. No, I think I have to pitch Teferi. Yeah, this hand was pretty sus. Like, now that we're here, I am not proud of this hand I kept. I'm just gonna block. Like, no reason to take damage. This thing doesn't trample. This one does. Yeah, I'm gonna be taking damage from this thing anyway. Mana Crypt is a pretty good draw. So that means I'm 1 land or 1 mana source away from actually POing for value. I think I do want to run this Crypt out here. That gets me a Monk, which could be valuable. It does expose me pretty badly to Force of Vigor, but that's going to get me no matter what. Strip Mine also gets me no matter what. Wow, that sucks. I don't even want a Mystical Tutor. I guess I probably do want to do it and then fail to find. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah, like I said, when I kept the hand, it's like really dead to Wasteland. This was just a bad keep. Do better than me. We're playing against a deck that you're like pretty close to just goldfishing against. Yeah, like I'm not even gonna get Force of Will, which I could technically cast. Yeah, I'm just gonna fail to find. I need Black Lotus. Yeah, Black Lotus off the top draws 3 cards, resets uh, this 4 colorless mana. Or yeah, a Mox doesn't do it. Like Mox Emerald isn't enough. They're probably just name PO with this therapy anyway. Make it all irrelevant. Yep. Easy choice. All right, yeah, this was a bad keep, punished by a Wasteland. I can't actually win this game. Yeah, like I was saying, they're the Delver deck of the format. Like any stumble, any awkwardness, and you probably lose. And I stumbled right into some awkwardness, and it's my own fault. So let's get some graveyard interaction in here. They don't really have blue spells, so Pyroblast is out. Blightsteel Colossus lets you just like uh, turn one, like turn one Tinker for Blightsteel should close the door, though they can produce lots of power around that. Hurkyl's Recall, not super great. It can bounce hollow ones, but a lot of the time bouncing hollow one is worse than just leaving it in play. Lightning bolts are coming in. Like I can cut one of the opals. And this is kind of a tough spot. Because I'm not sure how dedicated they're gonna be to disrupting me. Like they're gonna have Force of Vigor, but some of these decks also have like uh Mindbreak Trap and Force of Will and Negation. I'm pretty sure this one does not have all that, but they're definitely going to have Force of Vigor. So I want to have some amount of like counterplay and uh, ways to win without going off with PO. But I do also want to still be a combo deck because they did choose to register a non-blue deck in Vintage, so I would like to dumpster them if the opportunity arrives. Like shaving a Mox Opal is pretty reasonable to do. Like I might want to just get these Sprite Dragons in here. All right, I'll bring in 2 of them just as another plan. Let's keep a real hand this time. This is not ideal. Yeah, this is very close to the last hand I kept, but it's also missing a color. I can keep this, though I am not excited about it. I'm gonna send the volcanic island to the bottom. Yeah, so this brainstorm has to be good, basically. And I could Lotus brainstorm right now and hope for something good. Like that might be better than using my fetch land. I could also just play Sol Ring and pass and hope for the best. Like I don't want to play Lotus and Sol Ring and just run into Force of Vigor. I think I will go for the Brainstorm here off of Lotus. This is vintage. Let's get powerful. I have something like that too. What year is it? Okay, so Blightsteel Colossus and Lightning Bolt go back into the deck. Because I'm about to fetch for white mana, so I can cast this to Fairy. Alright, Teferi's in play now. I can bounce my Soul Ring to draw a card and untap it. That sounds pretty good. Alright, there's my turn. Don't kill me. Teferi's nice to have in play even against these non-blue decks because they can't cast Basking Root Walla now. Yeah, they just conceded from the game. They can't cast Basking Root Walla. They can't pitch to Force of Vigor or anything. Vintage is weird. Sometimes shit like that happens. All right, now they're going first, which is a little bit scarier. And I think with them on the play, I actually want to be more combo-y. Like with them on the draw, you have a little more time to mess around. Like I could like Sprite Dragon and like get ahead enough and keep tempo to stay ahead. But I don't know if that's really an option. Or maybe I just want to be more defensive and keep this and I can shave an outcome. Because outcome is a really embarrassing, like you want to jump off a bridge top deck if you don't have any artifact mana in play or it's shut off with a Collector Oof or an All Rod. So this card is totally shaveable. Outcome and Mox Opal are probably among my most boarded out cards, beyond the obvious like Pyroblast and non-blue matchup kind of stuff. I do like the one Flusterstorm. I don't think I want more than that, because if I do get an early bolus of Citadel, it sucks to get stuck behind a counterspell. Yeah, I'm going to present this deck. Alright, Surgical Extraction. Some fast mana and a tutor. I can keep this hand. And hope that they are just ice cold to surgical. I don't know how often that actually happens. Alright, a blind therapy on turn 1. I'd be surprised if they hit anything here. Like, they probably name outcome. Yeah, alright. Which I didn't have. Now they know about surgical extraction, though, so that it gets a little worse under these circumstances. Never fails. So now that I drew outcome, what can I do differently? I was just going to play the Flooded Strand and leave up black mana. Like, what can I vamp for here? Like, I definitely want to play around Wasteland, so I'll do this, and I can vamp for Mana Crypt and go off. Another one. Oh, kind of awkward to surgical now, but all right. So I'm gonna vamp for Mana Crypt and just hope they don't name PO again. There it is. They know about the Force of Will. I guess I might as well check their hand with this surgical. Oof, Bazaar, Misty. Oh, shit. They can cast Stitcher and... Oh, wow, that's annoying. Yeah, having a second therapy is just some shit. Yeah, because they can go Misty, Rainforest, Stitcher Supplier, Flashback Therapy. God, that sucks. And now I just have Mana Crypt on top of my deck for no reason. Yuck. This lined up really poorly. That's all right. I can top in my upkeep. Try to find something to save me. Yeah, just having that double therapy is so fucked. The good news is their supplier was not very good. Wow, Lavinia is so close to being useful. But so far, like, if I could cast this Lavinia, I think the game would just end, but I cannot. All right, so I'll draw the force. I can use top to flip force blue card if I need to. Ooh, this surgical on top is nice too. So you're saying there's a chance. It's still ugly though. Like they did a very good job collapsing my hand with what they had to work with. Collector oof. How bad is that for me? I mean, the answer is like really bad. Yeah, like I won't be able to top or do anything with it in play. So I'm gonna spin my top and in response draw a card. So I get the surgical right now. And then I can top to, oh god. Just stack that up how it is. Yeah, this is really bad. This matchup is a nightmare. I guess I knew they had the oof. Like maybe I'm just supposed to set up the force of will. You know, I can surgical my own graveyard to shuffle, which I might have to do. Oh, another wasteland. That's fun. I could also just concede. Yeah, I'm not beating Collector Roof. All right, that was a complete fucking kicking. That matchup is real bad. Well, their specific draw that they lined up was real bad for me. If they don't have exactly second hardcast therapy plus a 1-drop to flash it back, my hand's really good. But they did have all of that. And I don't think it would have been right to just extract therapy in their draw step because they only play 3, and having 2 of them in a 5-card hand is like, I'm not going to play around that. So we just got punished. Their shit lined up really well, and we ended up losing. Like I said in the deck tech, the Paradoxical Outcome, it's powerful, but it is susceptible to certain things. And my opponent had discard and 2 wastelands and collector oof, so I just couldn't do anything that game. Hopefully the next games are more inspiring. All right, it's round 2. We're on the play, and this hand is actually a banger. This looks like a vintage hand that we did not get a taste of last round. So I have 3 mana on turn 1, plus Ancestral Recall with Force Backup. Sign me the fuck up. Like I could play around Mindbreak Trap by just not doing that here, but I don't think that's worth doing. Because PO is such a powerful deck. My opponent is speaking another language in the chat. I don't know if they're complimenting me or flaming me, but I don't know what it is. I'm sorry. A top of their own, sure. So I'm going to Mystical Tutor for Paradoxical Outcome and hopefully win the game. I guess I don't even need to do that. I could just spin my top and cast Lavinia and then they won't be able to force of will me in the future. Yeah, I'm going to take it slow here. I'm going to take it slow. Draws Black Lotus immediately. So, yeah, I'll take this Lotus. If I have to. So I can cast Lavinia with Flusterstorm back up and still spin my top. Still cast Mystical Tutor. Force of Will. Flusterstorm. And I still have Force also if they have like Red Blast. But they wouldn't have pitched to Force of Will. Oh, Chain of Vapor. So they're definitely a combo deck. They're probably going to spin with top looking for a second Force here. Yeah, that's the play. I kind of hope they find one, because then they have one card in their hand, and I still have Lavinia in play, because I also have the Force backup. I'm pretty sure this is a PO mirror based on the cards we've seen. And there are very few cards better in the PO mirror than Lavinia, Azorius, Renegade. This is a big reason to play Jeskai in Vintage in general. Just like Lavinia with the Jeskai PO, Jeskai Xerox, Jeskai Hate Bear, or Esper Hate Bears, like being blue-white, this is the reason to do that. Monastery Mentor. That's really interesting because obviously the card is great, but I might be able to just win if I let it resolve. Let's take a peek at the top of the deck. Oh, Tolarian Academy is there? Does that even matter? If I Mystical on my or on my upkeep, then I have 1, 2, 3. I can draw 4 cards. Am I crazy? I think I can just beat this Mentor though. Sure. Yeah, the top of my deck being just 3 lands, it makes me want to do this. Alright, let's toot. Are there any cards better than PO here? I guess Ancestral Recall draws 1 fewer card, but I don't lose Black Lotus to do it. Yeah, maybe I just get Ancestral here. Oh no, I cast that already. Oh yeah, that was that game. Yeah, so PO is the. Oh no, I Tinker. Yeah, what am I doing? I cast Tinker here. Yeah, so I draw, I cast Tinker, and then I have Tinker plus Sensei's Top, which ends the game. And they can't do anything because I have Lavinia. And I'm going to sack Mox Opal to do it because I play a lot of copies of that card. So there's Citadel to take a walk. Hold priority, cast Preordain in case I find an instant. I did not find an instant. Top, draw the probe, cast the Mox, cast a fairy, cast Mana Crypt. I don't think I want to play this land. I'd rather play top because I might draw Academy at some point in this combo. I can't Herc. I was I was about to float mana and Herc myself, but Bolus's Citadel is in fact an artifact, and I don't want to bounce that. All right, there's Academy. That's why I didn't play the land earlier. And there's PO. Now the game is over. All right, about to draw 8 cards. Net a bunch of mana along the way. Where is my mentor? Not there. It is. All right, I've already cast Time Walk, so now they are actually just dead. Yep. Dead to my hand. All right, so we managed to get under the PO mirror. So in the PO mirror, I want to be maximum disruptive, and I want to be on my at least one of my sideboard jukes. I don't want Blightsteel Colossus because they're going to have Teferi. They showed us Chain of Vapor, so I'm off of that. What is less good? Herx isn't great. And Herx can like counter a PO effectively by bouncing all their artifacts, like all their targets in response to it. But these 4 cards also counter a PO pretty effectively. What else do I want to cut? Can shave on the fast mana because I'm planning on settling in for a longer game here. I'm going to cut Tinker and Bolus's Citadel because they're going to bring in a pile of Pyroblast too, and getting your Tinker countered in the blue mirror is just such a beating. It's massive card deficit. Narset is one of the best cards. Merchant Scroll can be like a little slow, but if we settle into a longer game, that's okay. I could cut one of the POs. Yeah, because I'm on the secondary plan now. I'm just mostly a creature deck. And maybe I just don't need all 3 Flusterstorms. Yeah, I'll keep all 3 Flusterstorms. Alright, this is my deck now. Oh no, I'm going to cut the Mystical Tutor, not the Merchant Scroll. Because Mystical Tutor is card negative. Like you play, you lose this card out of your hand to put the card on top of the deck. This is card neutral, you just switch it for a different card. And if I'm not chasing Tinker, because I boarded it out, then Mystical Tutor gets really bad. Alright, here's the plan. I could also cut Vamp Tutor to put Sensei's Top back in, but the like Vamp Tutor getting literally anything is a lot more interesting. Speaking of a lot more interesting, this is a turn 1 PO with Flusterstorm backup. I'll keep and hope I don't die on turn 1. Bad start, team. Please don't cast Narset. Like turn 1 Mentor would be pretty fucked. Okay. I don't mind Ponder. Black Lotus Ponder, it makes it clear they have more stuff to do with their mana. Teferi. Alright, I don't love that. That kills the Flusterstorm, but we'll see where this goes from here. They need a Force of Will backup for the Teferi. So I'll just run out my shit here. I have enough mana that I can afford to Ponder. Fluster, Preordained, Soul Ring. I'll take that Soul Ring. If this works, it's an extra card, extra mana. I wonder what they're thinking about here. Oh, my opponent used Google Translate to harass me in English now. They were flaming earlier. They're tilting off that I had all these cards and they didn't. And are you just going to force of will me now and it doesn't matter? All right, yeah. Opponent is a good sport over there. They don't know they're on candid camera though. All right, so whiffed a little bit here. This preordain is going to have to do something good. I mean, there's a pretty good chance of that happening. Like we know. Oh, yikes. This is bad. All right, are you done tilting off now? Now that it is clear that I can't win? You know, I drew a million cards, though. I'm way ahead on mana. Like, they couldn't interact with me meaningfully last turn. If they didn't have Teferi, I would feel really good, but they do, so I don't feel so good. Oh, they're using my trick from last game, getting bonus mana off their Teferi and drawing a card. I'd really like to draw Paradoxical Outcome again. Though now they probably have their spells up. Time Walk's a pretty good card. That kills Teferi. God, if these Flusterstorms were active, this game would be over, like, long ago. Unfortunately, it's not the world we live in. All right, so are they fighting over Time Walk or are they killing Sprite Dragon? I suspect that they have a Pyroblast here. They should kill Sprite Dragon. Oh, Lightning Bolt. Okay. Yep. Wish I had Flusterstorm for that one. Teferi's too good, though. All right, now they're tapped out again. Let's draw Paradoxical Outcome. Though I boarded one out, though, so I deserve what's happening to me. Yeah, so opponent tilted off, and they're still just, like, ahead here. Teferi is ready to draw a second card next turn. I don't know if they would cash it in. They probably shouldn't. It's the only thing keeping them in this game. Yeah, this is a very vintage game, though. Like, it looks kind of anemic, but like, they have this one powerful spell that has turned off all of my counterplay. They would be dead if I had Flusterstorm, but I don't, so here we are. Tinker. All right, so now, yeah, look. All that yelling for nothing. I think they made their land drop. No, all right, now they made their land drop, so I could still get lucky here. Guess I can just safely F6. Oh, Time Twister. All right, now they have top, so they can draw at least 13 cards. They're unlikely to get stuck. This is why Magic players would benefit from just shutting the fuck up. This person just tilted off in the chat 2 times in a row and then vintaged me. So, ugh. Enjoy the show. Let's see if they can figure out how to win. So they have time walk turn. They're down to 11. Like, this is not deterministic, but it is pretty rough. How are they passing the turn right now? Do they not know about the top trick? They watched me do it last game. Unless their mentor is in their hand. But there's enough mana in the deck to cast it. Like, and now the time walk is used. I have a hard time believing what they just did was correct. It probably doesn't matter because they still have Bolas's Citadel and Time Walk, and Academy and Teferi. Maybe they'll pick up Teferi with this outcome. Nope, coward. Correctly cowardly. Though the Time Walk being used already is a little exciting. That means they need a Snapcaster Mage or a Yawgmoth Squill to get another turn. So even if they find Mentor, I might have a chance to go bonkers on them. This is, oh, that PO came off the top with Citadel. That makes some sense. Down to 7 life. Yeah, there might be some hope. Them showing me that they don't know the top trick opens the door quite a bit. Let's see if they figured it out yet. Like, life total is a resource. Bolas's Citadel is not just cast your deck for free. It's not quite Mind's Desire. All right, Mystical Tutor plus Bolas's Citadel. They should be able to figure this out. Oh, okay, they are a Tendrils version. All right. Congratulations. You threaded the needle on that one. Okay, so their deck is way stormier than mine is. Like, they have the Time Twister and the Tendrils. Like, it makes sense that they would need to keep in their Tinker package. I don't know if I need to do that. I like being more creaturey. Like, I have more options than they do in this matchup. Like, I brought in every answer I had to Teferi, and I even drew one of them. The Sprite Dragon. They just had a counter answer to Teferi. All right, well, I said I'm ready to, like, buckle in and play some small ball. Like, if you ignore the paradoxical outcome in my hand, this is a pretty good Xerox opener. Let's see if it pays off or if we just get dunked on. They have a vintage hand. Sure. So they're getting Merchant Scroll. If they get PO, we might be able to win. If they get Force of Will, we probably lose, because that means they already have PO. So let's see if they have the Force backup. Jesus. I have to let that resolve because the PO is going to draw even more. I wonder if they even feel stupid for tilting off so hard. Like, do they feel bad about that at all, or do they think they're justified? All right, well, it's force of will or bust over there. All right, that was lucky. They did all that cantripping and didn't find it, though we're still way behind, don't get me wrong. And they left red floating, which could mean that they have red blast. It could also mean just nothing at all. But I'm going to play Lavinia and see how that goes. She could just eat a red blast and then they beat me anyway. Or she could shut down the whole game. Let's find out together. All right, Mystical Tutor for red blast probably. Yep. All right, do they have a second PO to go with that? Or are we now just playing awkward magic? All right, so let's draw a mana source. Bummer. All right, I am not going to play this. I'm not going to tap out for Sprite Dragon when I could just die to so many other top decks. I'm in the market for another land. They have Mana Crypt in play, which is a clock. Like, that's going to soften them up for this Sprite Dragon eventually. They also have a number of stinkers in their deck, like actual tendrils, if they just draw it, is not a good draw. All right, Force of Will. What does that do? I'm just trying to figure out if that changes my willingness to jam Sprite Dragon. And whatever, let's get to work here. They made it clear they don't have a way to win in hand. And they also, because of the way that they Mystical Tutored for the Pyroblast, makes me think they don't have a counterspell either. So they're just awkwardly top decking here. So, and I think if I untap, I'm going to win easily. Yeah, like right now, this is the sweat. All right, level land. And it looks like they're just passing the turn. All right. All right, now I have double force plus pyroblast. They're dead. I can't wait to hear in the chat how unlucky they are that their PO got countered. Lose another crypt flip. Speed this up for me. They lost the flip. All right, 75% success rate on mana crypts. Nice. All right, so I'm not even going to cast Narset. That's just not what this game is about anymore. And they lost the flip. They're dead on board. Rage in the chat. All right, no raging. They just conceded. All right, won the PO mirror. Because we were able to pivot and they weren't. They were a pure combo build. They had Time Twister and Tendrils, and we brought in some creatures, and then just nickel and dimed while they. We just played a Xerox game while they tried to combo. Got him. All right, so we're on the draw here. Bonus the Citadel is in hand, so that's already a mull to 6, so we might as well mull to 6. This hand is going nowhere fast. This hand is also going nowhere fast. I'm not even close to casting a PO. I can't even cast a fairy. This hand also sucks, but I'm not going to 4. I think I can get rid of the force and, or let's see, what does this game actually look like? So if I, yeah, I think I have to get rid of the force. And the underground sea. So basically what I need to do this game is turbo out a Tinker. And unfortunately, I couldn't keep the force to try to protect it. I'm pretty sure I know this person I'm playing against. Like, I feel like I recognize their username from, like, teaming with them for a Pro Tour or something. I don't know. Verdant Catacomb, Tropical Island. All right. They might be Bug Xerox. That matchup is mostly fine if that is actually what they're up to. They are a deck that plays Force of Vigor, though, which is shitty. Like, this hand cannot beat Force of Vigor. It is not going to happen. I don't want to crack this fetch. I guess they fetch too, so they're going to have 3 mana regardless. Let's see, do they have the Leovold? They do. That's about as bad news as possible. Oh, Monastery Mentor. That card plays. So, decisions to be made here. I could Vampiric Tutor for Tinker and just hope they don't have a counterspell and hope that I can just plow through Leovold. Or I could jam this Mentor and hope that it beats their deck. I think I'm going to keep the Mentor. They are a Wasteland and Strip Mine and Assassin's Trophy deck, though, so a little bit awkward here. I'll get the basic island just to play around Wasteland as best I can. Oh, they had Force. Sucks. Oh, they had to pitch Ancestral Recall to cast that Force, though. That's a big deal. All right, is the last card in hand Collector Roof? It's Time Walk. Bummer. All right, their hand was solid. Leovold is one of these hateful permanents. All of the Xerox decks have some like hateful horseshit. Like it's Lavinia, it's Leovold, it's Ren and 6. Like they all do basically the same thing, which is kill me. All right, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, not quite dead. I think, I guess it's better to spin than to just take a draw. Like unless I just naturally draw Tinker. So I'm gonna draw this land now. I take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. I go to 3 or 4. Then I Vampiric Tutor down to 2 or 1. And then at 1 life, I'm supposed to win with Bolas' Citadel? Nah, I don't think I can win this game. There are Pyroblasts in my deck. I could Vamp for Pyroblast and Zap. But Mentor's already in my graveyard. Nah, I'm dead this game. I'm willing to pack it up. Alright, so this is definitely a matchup where you want your sideboard jukes available. I want to fight their counter spells and their Assassin's Trophies and stuff. Hercule's Recall doesn't matter. I'm going to cut Citadel because they do pressure your life total pretty well, and if I tinker, I want it to be for Blightsteel. Also, having Blightsteel in your deck when you go for Bolas' Citadel is pretty rough. Pyroblast, less good than Lightning Bolt. Pyroblast gets Oko, but I barely care about that. Merchant Scroll's a little mopey. I don't need this many Opals, and I don't need this many outcomes. Maybe I want a Pyroblast back. Is this how I want to play it? On the play, I could go more outcome and less blast. Yeah, I'll do this on the play and I'll switch it on the draw. I'll keep this hand. So I'm gonna preordain on turn 1 and set up a Ancestral Recall with Fluster backup for turn 2. Like, I don't want to just jam this Ancestral. There's a good chance that I'll just end up discarding it. Or not it, but I cast this, I go up to 8 cards in hand, end up discarding. Yeah, just sculpt a little bit, find some artifacts for this, and then pay it off. That's the plan. Let's see if it works. Opponent is thinking hard about their keep. And I'm going to lead on basic island preordain. No reason to get slowed down by Wasteland. And fetching the basic island means it's not in my deck for Assassin's Trophy, but if we reach a point where they're Assassin's Trophying something in my deck, then I've probably already won or lost. I don't know. Ooh, that's actually pretty great. Force of Will to stop their shenanigans, Gitaxian Probe to see what they're up to. Can map out exactly what we need to Force of Will. JK. It's out of here. Well, if they're gonna misstep Probe instead of Ancestral Recall, that's a deal. This Collector, oof. Yeah, that's fine. Joke's on you, my hand wasn't doing that anyway. Yeah, so now PO is an easy pitch to this Force. They use their misstep on Gitaxian Probe, so whatever. I want to get Tundra, because I already have red, which is my most important color, and white casts my creatures, though black, yeah, white is better here. It's also possible I'm just supposed to double up on red, because that is so much more important than everything else here. And they pitch Time Walk, so that was not a cheap activation, or a cheap force. There's the Wasteland. Yeah. So I'm going to start sculpting a Tinker here. I have an artifact in play. I can use either of these tutors to get the Tinker, and then I can Tinker with Force Backup next turn. Wasteland slows me down, but I can just keep hitting land drops along the way. I'm going to start with Mystical, so if it resolves, I would like to keep my life total intact. Beep, boop, boop. 2, you have Flusterstorm. You have Force of Will. E2. And then Blightsteel Colossus comes into play. And we hope they don't draw Oko. I guess I should have Vampiric Tutored for Red Blast in my upkeep. Because the way they win this game is they chump here, they go to 9 poison, then they cast Oko. So I may have just fucked up. Alright. Got lucky. But yeah, I should have Vamp Tutored for Pyroblast in the upkeep and be ready for Oko. Alright. Easy squeezy though. Now they've seen Blightsteel Colossus, so they have to respect that. They probably thought their hand was pretty good with Force of Will and Collector Oof and Mental Misstep, but we just were not trying to combo. So I'm going to try even less hard to combo this game. Just slightly less PO. You have to leave some in to keep them honest. Like if you get a window, you want to make them dead. But you don't want to expose yourself to it. Well, this hand is horrendous. This one, not much better. If this made any white mana, it would be bananas, but it doesn't. Ship it again. Oh my god, it's getting worse. This one is keepable though. I have a lightning bolt. Vamp Tutor is out of here, and PO is out of here. It's possible I should have bottomed to Fairy, because pitching PO to Force is better than pitching to Fairy to Force, or at least I would be happier with that play. This is one of those Dead to Wasteland hands. Let's just find 2 lands off this Preordain. Ancestral Recall. Oh god, am I getting baited into the world's nastiest Flusterstorm? Yup. Alright, that's probably the game. They set that up really well. I just couldn't play around it. Saw it coming. Doesn't really matter. They were gonna counter my spells regardless. So now they Wasteland me and I lose. Ooh, I didn't lose. Fuck. Alright, so good news is they didn't find a second land after all that. Bad news is if they draw Wasteland at any point, the game is over. So I need to draw a white land before they draw Wasteland. This is not it. Also, if they ever hit their second land drop, they're just going to unlock this 7 spell hand. Oh. Well, let's see if Lavinia can shut this down. She's probably going to eat a Force of Will. But if they don't have exactly Force of Will, this is going to be really good. I guess they could also play Daze. All right, yeah. Daze is a card in this deck sometimes. And we're not quite dead to Wasteland anymore. Now we're looking to chain some cantrips together. All right, chugga chugga, hit those land drops. Uh-oh. That was so lucky they drew a second land. I'm kidding. Obviously, they're 15 cards into their deck and just found their second land. Treasure Cruise. Cruise your daddy. All those discard steps fueled the Treasure Cruise. And here comes more discards. Force of Vigor and Collector Roof in the bin. Backup Lavinia. Another Force of Will. All right, pitching Leovold. All right, I'm fine with Leovold being out of the equation here. I'll kill that. Yeah, that represents a clock and mana. I did just kind of play into Daze. I probably didn't need to do that. All right, Mental Misstep's fine. Black Lotus, what do? You preordain, you cast Lavinia. Yeah, I'm into this. This was the last chance for Yogg-Will to be good. Please don't Force a Will. Please don't counter this. Please don't counter this. Give me my value. Pay me the value. It looks like they're probably thinking about a... Oh, shit. Damn it. That was so bad. All right. That was my chance. That was a real chance to get back in this game. The Yogg-Will would have recast Lotus, cast Lavinia, preordained, and killed Deathrite Shaman. All right, they pitched a second Leovold though. Come on, Ancestral Recall. Like, let's just get back in this. I would take Brainstorm. That would be a pretty good card. Get this Blightsteel Colossus out of my hand. Oof turns off some nice top decks like Sensei's Top. Constricting my mana here is pretty smart. Like, really, that's the only way I'm getting back in this. Ancestral Recall, please. Oh no, what is this? Narset, are you kidding me? I'm already dead. Now I'm gonna draw Brainstorm, just wait. Oh, Teferi. Do you even do anything? I don't think so. It might bait the Force of Will if it does nothing else. It's like if they don't force this, then they force nothing. All right. Oh, they changed their mind. Determine they don't care about this, and they're probably right. All right, so Teferi created a little window here. I'm not sure what that window does. Like, if I draw Red Blast and can kill... Oh, there's Assassin's Trophy. is kill Teferi. I don't have another basic land, and you know it. Alright. Now we're dead. Like, if I had drawn Red Blast to kill Narset, and then Teferi draws me into Ancestral Recall, there was a line there, but I think it's gone. Alright, now I have a 0-mana artifact if I draw Tinker, but Blightstone Colossus is in my hand, so it doesn't matter. And we're on a very fast clock right now, dead in 2 turns. And we have to deal with Narset and get through this Force of Will in 2 turns. Alright, yep, I'm dead. It got pinched out. This is what I was talking about, that the meta is super hostile to Paradoxical Outcome. We've played against multiple decks that just shut down your artifacts, shut down your spells. It's just like that opponent, they had Mental Misstep, Daze, 2 Force of Wills, and a Force of Negation that game. And I think they needed all of them. But they had all of them, so you can build your deck to beat PO if you want to. We're on the play for round 4. This is another slow, shitty hand. We can do better. That's better. I'll keep this. I'm gonna ship the Flooded Strand, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna bottom that. I'm just keeping the highest velocity opening hand. Let's hope they're on chops and we can just empty our hand. Oh, nice. They're on Hogak. So there's my white. Here's my blue. Blue, blue, blue. Preordain. I will keep Ponder around. Cast Top and cast Lavinia. Lavinia is not lights out against a deck like this, the way it would be in a lot of situations, but it is very good. Let's see if we can capitalize on this strong start. Pretty sure I'm going to want to top in my upkeep. Though Ponder is going to see all those cards anyway, so I'm not going to top in my upkeep. I'm going to leave my mana available. There's the Doctor. White cards versus red cards in my main deck. Pyroblast not helpful. I'm probably not casting Mentor, so it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna ponder off the Tundra first. If I find a fetch land, if I want to shuffle this up. So let's see, that's 1, 2, 3 mana. Yeah, this is not good enough. I'll spin my top with Jet and see what we got going on. Trying not to put a land in the graveyard because I mean they can discard a land to Bazaar, so but I don't need to feed the beast. So if they Bazaar into a second 1-drop, they can have Vengevine in play next turn, which I'm not super stoked about. All right, I'll leave Vamp Tutor on top. We're pretty close to a Tinker win here. Yeah, I can attack. I'm not going to block Vengevine anyway, and if Vengevine comes into play, then Deathrite Shaman will be tapped, so I don't need to block it. But I have like a 2-turn path to Tinker here. It's just, do I have enough time through this Vengevine for that to be a real plan? Because I just have to hope they brick. Though it's going to be pretty hard to brick. This Bazaar +2 draw steps, they've seen 4 new cards since I last checked their hand. And then like, if Stitcher mills Hogak, got him. Lavinia did something. I hope they needed that. They probably didn't. Let's be serious. Oh, they didn't discard their land, so... Oh, but Stitcher could mill one still. It didn't. Did we just get them because of Lavinia? Yeah, I think they... Yeah, they definitely just made a plan and forgot about Lavinia, and they're 1 mana short of having 2 Vengevines in play. Alright, so I'm just gonna pass the turn here. I probably do chump a Vengevine, like if they can even trigger it. Because this is the creature we knew about. We know one of their cards in hand is Savannah. So they have to come up with 2 creature spells to cast out of the 3 non-land cards in their hand, plus the 2 cards on top of their deck, which I guess is a pretty likely thing to occur. Oh, strip mine, you dick. Yeah, that changes my plan. I'll probably just Vampiric for Ancestral now. I guess if I find a land right now off this top, I can flip top. Okay, yeah, that's a horrendous top of my deck. So I definitely need the Vampiric Tutor at least to shuffle. I don't think I'm blocking this. No. It's a pretty free attack for them. So the Vamp will shuffle, and then if I find a land under the Vamp, I can draw a Tinker for turn. I guess I have to Vamp before I see what I'm going to get, though. So that would be super risky. But sometimes you have to risky to get the bisky. All right, time to make some decisions. So I could just get Ancestral Recall and try to play safe, though I don't think that actually wins me the game. So I think I have to get Tinker, and then hope that there's a mana source under it in my top 2 cards. Yes. Okay, so that's how I want to draw these. And finding Emerald is even better because it doesn't use up my land drop, which I'm going to need if I try to Citadel here. Yeah, sometimes you just have to make the most vintage play. There's Teferi. I'm at 12. Now I have to decide if I want to pay 4 life to draw 2 cards, or if I want to just draw this. Alright, I'm gonna bounce. What do I bounce here? Is it Bloodghast? Oh no, hold on. I think I bounce. Like I can bounce Moxjet and just draw PO. I could bounce Deathrite Shaman, and in response, cast PO. That draws the most cards, so that's what I'm going to do. Actually, I'm going to target Bloodghast because that one's harder to cast, and if these Vengevines trigger, I'm going to lose. So put that ability on the stack, and in response, I think I bounced Lavinia too. They have 3 cards in their hand. Yeah. That's how this game is going. Alright, then Teferi draws this Force. Pearl off the top. Alright, I think we did it. Mentor off the top. Then we can cast the Teferi again with all these Moxes. This D-Tutor can get Time Walk. Alright, yeah. We found the path. That was a tight one. Vintage plays. Swing for the fences. So I'm going to cast D-Tutor holding priority. Alright, not an instant on top. I get Time Walk. Where is Time Walk? Am I just not seeing it? Did I pitch it? Did I cast it already? Where's my Time Walk? Oh, there it is. Down here for some reason. Alright. Ooh, Ancestral Recall on top of the deck. Don't mind if I do, but let's cast Time Walk first. Alright, they're going for the Hail Mary here. I don't even know what they're looking for, but they're going for it. I have Force of Will, double Force of Will even. Alright, now I have room to Ancestral myself also. Then I can replay Lavinia. The next turn I play Teferi and I attack, and then I can sack with Bolas's Citadel. I have at least 10 permanents. I don't even care about that. And white, and I even get a land drop. Alright, so Time Walk turn. Draw that, cast this. And that is lethal. Don't even need to activate Citadel, but I could. Alright, snuck through that one. The Surgicals and the Lightning Bolts again. The Pyroblasts are out. Hercule's Recall is out. Mental Misstep's pretty good. Opal can go. And one Outcome can go. Is that what I did last time? I think I had some creatures and stuff last time too, but I'm just going to try to jam. This hand is not a keep. Believe it or not. Do I even keep this hand on the play? What does this hand do? So I can Gitaxian Probe, Lotus, Yogwill, Lotus, Gitaxian Probe. I do see a bunch of cards. I can like ponder along the way as surgical, but no, I don't think this is a keep. This Blightsteel Colossus is a beating. Right, they're thinking hard about their keep too. Mine is a mulligan. Theirs is also a mulligan. That's a relief. So this hand sees some cards. It's kind of slow. It does have Mystical Tutors, so we can try to turbo out that Tinker. I could easily just die with this hand. Like, Dead Zo's never had a chance. See you later. But I do see some cards, and the Mystical Tutor is very powerful here. Once Upon a Time, their ability to find Bazaar in these Bazaar decks off Once Upon a Time is so crazy. That card was really good for them. All right. What you working with? Oof, Force, Vengevine. All right, that's a very good 4-card hand. Ancestral Recall is a very good card too, though. I think I'm gonna hold off on Ancestral. Like, I want to preordain. Do I want to preordain first? What does that even do? No, I'm just gonna Ancestral. Shut up, Brian. Just cast your busted card. Like, if I find a Mox, fuck. All right. I was hoping to find a Force of Will or a Mox. Like, Mox plays the top, and Force answers the oof. That's what I was hoping for, but I found neither. Luckily, PO is an easy discard because it is not going to happen this game. There's oof. Yeah, I know. We found Mentor, though, which is among the best cards in the matchup. So do I want Force of Will? Yes. So I'm going to top here, play the Scalding Tarn, and then Force of Will is on the top. So next turn I can play Mentor with Force backup, and hope that's good enough. They did turn off their own mana with Mox Emerald, though they have this Bazaar going, and we've seen Avengevine already. It looks like we can sculpt the game to a place where Force of Vigor doesn't matter. If I get a couple triggers off this Mentor before they have present lethal, that'll be okay. They discarded the Force of Vigor. All right, yeah, they identified that's not what this game is about. All right, didn't have the hollow one. Nice. All right, draw the Force. My hand is full of black cards, but my red cards are more important. Yeah, I'm gonna get red, even though I'm holding 2 black cards, because in my next upkeep, Mystical Tutor for Lightning Bolt could be an insane series. Like I Mystical trigger, get Bolt trigger, cast top trigger, and then I have Sensei's top active and 3 monks. And Mentor plus top is a combo. Like if you top in your upkeep each turn or in their end step, you just draw the top and you're guaranteed an extra trigger each turn for 1 mana. So I might be able to get ahead of them if they don't explode. And they basically, I think they would need like exactly Hogak to punch through that, and I can force it once. Like the monks can beat up on the Vengevines for a little while. Deafening Silence. Do I care about that? It slows down the line I just described quite a bit. Yeah, I want to keep my velocity. Let's fight over that. Like I think if I have to play fair, they're gonna win. And I have a pretty solid line set up here to overpower them if they want to play fair. And they're down to 1 card in hand. I have the best card in my deck in play. Let's do it. Pretty sure I just want to get a bolt. Is there something better? Like, I could get Time Walk. That's also pretty powerful. I don't think it's as good as Bolt, though. Yeah, like getting Bolt, clearing this oof, playing my top. That's all good stuff. And I can attack first. Let's see what they do. I mean, they know about Lightning Bolt, so it's not great regardless. Like I don't think I can bait them into any sort of bad block here. If they don't block, I'm just gonna Bolt oof before damage and then play top. I guess they technically could activate Bazaar, discard 2 Basking Root Wallas, and block with a Vengevine. They're thinking hard about this. Okay, they came to the conclusion that I already thought they were going to come to, which is no blocks. It's always allowed to take your time. Make sure you have the right play, though. And top. That's the turn. So they're in some trouble if they don't produce something real good this turn. And I think they need like exactly Hogak, like I said. I have my monks can negate the Vengevine at this point. Like they need a trampler and they need it quick. I don't think their deck plays any way to answer this board that I've assembled. Deafening Silence, I don't care about that anymore. Alright, so in the upkeep, I'm gonna spin top and in response draw a card with top. So this guarantees I can at least cast top, and I drew fucking Time Walk. Just casually found the best card in my deck. No big deal. So I'm about to draw Mox Jet. I will do that. I'll make my time walk. Then I can time walk into Teferi, bouncing Deafening Silence and casting Sensei's Top, and that should be lethal. All right, that's kind of a smart block. It doesn't matter though. Like I just have it super covered. And cast any spell for the win. Teferi is 3 spells. And that's the game. All right, one more to go. All right, round 5, we're on the play. This is a fucking doozy. I'm going to keep this hand, I dare say. So I have Ancestral Recall and maybe also Tinker, depending on how the Ancestral goes. I guess I won't know how the... Like, I have to tap Academy to get the Ancestral going. All right, yeah, so I'm gonna Ruby. Opponent's on 5. I wonder if that actually means anything, or if their hand was just medium. All right, that all happened. I'd like to find a force to protect my Tinker next turn. Hey, I found force to protect my Tinker next turn. I'm going to top both of those, and let's go. Hope that they are not a Wasteland deck. Though that doesn't matter because I put Soul Ring on top. I can cast Soul Ring with my Ruby, and then tap Soul Ring and Volcanic Island to Tinker. So, should be good. Yeah, force the shit out of that, and then they're going to lose. GG easy. I'm not going to play this land, even though leaving Academy untapped is appealing. I can't play that land because I don't want to brick off with my Citadel. Though I have top in play, so maybe it would have been right to just do it. Keep this one. I'm going to go get Mentor, and then that should end the game. Yeah, they're just conceding anyway. All right. Vintage. All right, and we're playing against Shops. I'm glad Shops finally came up in the league. PO generally just houses Shops. It was the opposite for a long time, that the Shops deck just beat up the blue combo decks, and it was just like play draw or like Force of Will or Bust. But PO just plays so much fast mana that you can just shit on these decks, and I love it. After being farmed for so long. I'm not sure if I want to go all the way in on these dragons or not. I want the Hercs. I cut all of these cards that don't have any text in the matchup. Like Daxian Probe has text, but it's not good. Not necessary at all. Don't really need Narset in this sort of matchup. Merchant Scroll can be like pretty slow. Like if they have even one sphere, it costs you 2 extra mana to cast the spell you actually want. So I generally don't love Merchant Scroll in this sort of matchup. Alright, I don't think I need the dragons. I have the Colossus. I could go one less top, one more dragon. Alright, backup plan assembled. This hand is close to insane, but I really want a Force of Will, because if they just go like Chalice on 0, I lose. Okay, this hand plays even through some hate. I'm going to chuck the PO, because that's probably not going to happen. Lavinia is very good against shops, because their whole thing is tapping one land for 3 mana. What do you got for me? Chalice on 0, okay. Thorn. And Revoker. Ravager. Oh, this crazy art Ravager. All right, so that was not bad. As far as like shitty shop starts can go, that's their whole hand also. So they are in top deck mode. Oh no, did they draw Trinisphere? A second Ravager. I'm not excited about that either. But it could be worse. All right, so they're getting aggressive here. Yeah, they're just shitting everything onto this one Ravager. Which is a totally fine play. Completely defensible. I would like to draw lands. All right, so if they don't draw a strip mine or a wasteland effect, that's not how you tap mana. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, oh, come on, stop tapping mana. Metamorph, probably copying Thorn would be my guess. And you got to copy Thorn, right? Unless you're going full aggro. Oh, copying Lavinia. Okay, no, that makes a lot of sense. I had not considered that. Tight plays. Land, please. All right, we're kind of doing it. So I can bolt their Lavinia, and then if I draw land, Teferi can bounce their Ravager, and then we're just Gucci. Shit. Yeah, I have to bolt this. They can eat it with Ravager because it's an artifact. Yeah, that Wasteland, like I said a couple turns ago, just need to fade a Wasteland for a while, but they found one. These are the most frustrating shop games. It's like, oh, they're hellbent, and we have a plan, and then it's like, exactly the right card, exactly the right card, and exactly the right card. Hey, I can cast this. All right, so I have to chump with Lavinia this turn, and then I can bounce Ravager with Teferi next turn. Maybe they'll just draw like Ancient Tomb or something. Just pass the turn. No more spells. Oh my god. They break the draw step. So now they have a choice to make. They can sack their Ravager so I don't draw a card, or they can just have Ravager in their hand. They probably need the threat. So, alright. And then I can Tinker Maybe I should have just tinkered last turn. Oh, I can tinker in combat. Oh my god, that's going to be fucking nuts. Yeah, so I could plus the fairy and then tinker in combat, getting Blightsteel. Don't mind if I do. Alright, that should make them for sure dead. Yeah, I think they're going to be locked under their own sphere at this point. All right, so they sacked one thing to Ravager. That lets them survive one turn. Oh, two things. What's the plan here? Oh, okay. That's pretty good. So they... Wait, that's not even good because I have trample. Oh yeah, it is still good. That was a crazy good play, wow. So, oh, I drew Hurkyl's Recall. It doesn't matter. All right, yeah, they sacked all their spheres. So now I can attack. They block with Ravager. After blocks, they animate Mishra's Factory, and then I herc their entire board back to their hand. They didn't need to sack Lotus. Oh, they're not making the play I thought they were going to make. All right, it doesn't matter. Infected. All right, 3-2'd the league. Played against some stiff competition. Lost to a Hogak, which just overran us, and a bug Xerox that shut us down. This deck is powerful. As we saw, the sideboarding is super versatile. You've got options, is what I'm saying. I do think this deck is great. I have a long history with this deck. 3 vintage champs top 8s with a win, all with PO. I'm not sure if I'm going to play it this year, just because of the target on its back. Like, that Hogak matchup is seriously tough. All of the Xerox decks have the target on your back, but you can muscle through. You can sideboard other options, and you can beat it. So this deck is definitely on the short list. I am going to play either this or some Xerox deck for Eternal Weekend, and I have one more day to test it out and see which one side I land on. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.